Just gone live. Oh, probably very well. Okay. Oh, I'm more than that. So,
It is the 41st millennium. Mankind battles for survival across the universe, besieged on all fronts by the heretic, the mutant, and the alien. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. One faction of Space Marines stands amidst the chaos, the mightiest of the Emperor's warriors, and a beacon of light in the darkness. This legion, the 9th Legion of Adeptus Astartes, the Blood Angels. Hello, good evening. How's everybody? Good evening. We're gonna get fired into some army lists tonight. Just so you know, Warhammer community posted this article earlier today, so the rumors are true. There will be a new balanced data slate, essentially, this week. So I guess prepare for that. So I was going to say, so some of the points of these lists might change a little bit, but it doesn't matter. We're going to get fired into the lists and see how we get on. Good evening, Darryl. I am not watching the England game. Might check out the score after this stream. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers. Varsidian, good evening. Grain of Truth, good evening. Marius, good evening. Yeah, I'm probably only going to really watch Scotland. I might just watch highlights of the other games. So, or maybe I'll watch once we're past the group stages. I don't know. I'll watch a bit of the football. Okay, so yeah, this article didn't say too much. Just that there's some fridge magnets coming. So I guess you'll be able to get some fridge magnets. And I don't even know where it talks about 40k in this article. It just says next week a new 40k balanced data slate is coming in hot. That's it. That's all we get. So beware for the hot balanced data slate coming in, where Mega Knobs better be nerfed, or Orcs are going to win every tournament for the next 6 months, I guess, right? So yeah, someone sent me a Blood Angels list that won a tournament as well. I was going to have a look at it tomorrow for this week's tactics video, so got that to look at as well this week. So let's get fired in. Chris 1315 is our first list tonight. He's going to be running Dante with the Sanguinor. Sorry, Dante with the Sanguinary Guard, Chaplain with the Death Company, the Judasaur with the Blade Guard. He's going to keep Death Company and Jump Intercessors in reserve. Alright, so Sons of Sanguinius lists with a Judasaur, a Chaplain, and a Dante. 2 Assault Intercessors to jump packs, actually 3. A Ballistus Dreadnought, 6 Blade Guard, a Brutalis Dreadnought. You know, the Brutalis at 160 seems like it could be playable. I used it one time, thought it was okay. Death Company with jump packs, a Gladiator Lancer, Infiltrators, a Land Raider, the 10 Sanguinary Guard, a squad of Scouts. Okay, and that is 2,000 points. Interesting. Use this list in a victory over the Greentide Orcs. He's super impressed with the Sanguinary Guard and Dante. I feel like Dante and the Sanguinary Guard are a good... They're a glass cannon unit. They can do a lot of damage, but then they die very quickly. Hey Sparks, thanks so much for subscribing. Chase, do you have any speculation on a new roadmap for codexes? I mean, I have no idea. I kind of thought that we might have the roadmap by now, Chase, so hopefully it's going to come out this week. DM me any list that's doing well at tournaments, Reziel. I'm probably going to do a list video this week because I'm out of town for a couple of days. So when I'm out of town, I don't have as much time to do all the maths of a normal tactics video, so I'm probably going to try and do something a little bit quicker, which is going to be like tournament winning list reviews. So, okay. I like Dante plus the 10 Sanguinary Guard. They are very glass cannon. I would actually put them in reserve, because I think they need to be reserved in Rapid Ingress into the battle. Assault Intercessor with jump packs. They're cheap. They do a little bit of damage. I don't know if I run 2 in my list, but I don't know if I rate them that highly. Occasionally do some mortal wounds, occasionally do a bit of damage. Yeah, I mean they're more of a scoring unit, I guess, in a 5-man than a killing unit. A Ballistus, a Lancer, and a Land Raider gives you the equivalent of about 8 las cannon shots, 10 las cannon shots, something like that. It's not too bad. I think running a single Lancer as your only anti-tank is kind of a folly, because a single Lancer can fail to kill things, and then you're kind of left, I guess. So adding the Land Raider and Ballistus Dreadnought I think is okay. The Brutalis Dreadnought I think is okay. Again, I would potentially be reserving that though, because I think it's hard to get it onto the board. Infiltrators to protect. Squad of Scouts for scoring, along with those Jump Intercessors and the Blade Guard, led by the Judasaur, which are most likely inside the Land Raider. They could also have the squad of Scouts in the Land Raider with them as well. That would make the capacity of 12, right? Yeah, this is an okay list. Is there anything I don't like about it? Or is there anything that I would change? I'm kind of off Land Raiders just because, like, certain armies can blow them up very, very quickly. But they are a strong unit. They do have a 2-up save. I guess if you pay 2 CP on them so they can be both in cover and -1 to hit and Armor of Contempt, they can be pretty darn durable. So I think this list is totally fine. 5 Death Company. I was going to say 5 Death Company is your only secondary killing unit, but I guess the Blade Guard are killing, and the Brutalis are also potentially killing. You know, like, if it was me right now, I guess I would probably not have the Blade Guard and not have the Brutalis, and would have like a second squad of Death Company or something like that. But I've played the Blade Guard a lot. I think the Judicaire with the Blade Guard is very strong. I think if you're taking a Land Raider, that synergizes with it nicely. I think this is a very decent list. I'm not sure if it's a tournament winning list, because I don't know if Sangre Guard and Dante are necessarily going to be tournament winning pick, but they're definitely a good damaging unit. They just don't necessarily have the survivability that you need to make it a tournament winning list. Alright, we're going to move on to the next list today from Metzinator. He's got the double captain, he's got a chaplain, he's got a sanguinary priest, and he's got the sanguiner. Okay, so as a double captain, I'm expecting 2 squads of assault intercessors, and I'm probably expecting 2 impulsors. No impulsor, but Land Raider Redeemer. Okay, so it makes sense. So 2 squads of assault intercessors with captains inside the Land Raider Redeemer, 10-man jump intercessors, a Death Company Dreadnought. The Death Company Dreadnought's going to be an interesting one when the new rules come out next week, and it says OC0 units can't perform actions anymore. That might make the Death Company Dreadnought less exciting. 3 5-man squads of Death Company, all Infernal Pistols and Power Fists. I kind of like that. But only having 1 chaplain probably makes that quite hard to get the most out of. You got the single Lancer for anti-tank. I don't like it as a single anti-tank choice. I think a good example this week is, or last Sunday when there was no army list show, right? I played against Dark Angels and they had a single Lancer. And what the single Lancer managed to do in that game was it managed to take one of my Predators down to like 1 wound. And it managed to take my other Predator down to 4 wounds. So it didn't actually kill anything the whole game. I think if you're going to run a Lancer as your primary way of dealing with enemy armor, you need something else as well. Because, I mean, maybe 2 Lancers is fine. Because typically what will happen is, yes, you get 1 hit, 1 reroll, 1 wound reroll, but typically one of the attacks will fail, or one of the attacks will save, and then you only do d6+3 damage, which ends up not actually killing anything. It happened literally on stream last week as well, so it's a good example of like a single Lancer can actually be quite swingy. And when the single Lancer took the Predator down to 1 wound, you then in a real rock and a hard place where, like, are you going to waste a whole round of shooting from that Lancer to knock 1 wound off the Predator? He probably should have done that, but he didn't. He shot another Predator and left it on 4 wounds. So basically the Lancer didn't kill anything the whole game, basically. Maybe it killed some infantry, like jump intercessors with its chaff guns, but that's not really why you're paying 160 points for a Lancer, right? The Redeemer with the 2 squads of assault intercessors in it is good. The 2 squads of scouts is obviously pretty good as well. Infiltrators for the backfield. 4 Death Company units with 1 chaplain is definitely not my favourite. I feel like at a minimum you need 50% coverage. So like for every 2 squads of Death Company you would 1 chaplain. But in my list I actually run 100% coverage. Every squad of Death Company I run is accompanied by a chaplain. I think 1 chaplain across 4 is going to be pretty difficult to get all these units having OC. And then the Sanguinor is a really good character. The one thing to remember with the Sanguinor is if he comes in and he does die, you can use him for Angel Sacrifice as well. So, alright, so he's been running this list into 2 competitive leagues to warm up for some GTs in July and August. It's about 80% win rate, with mainly Bully Boy at Orcs being the main faction I'm struggling with. Yeah, I mean, I think Bully Boy at Orcs are going to get nerfed a little bit. 2 assault intercessors with captains in the Redeemer, usually 10 jump pack intercessors with a sanguinary priest in reserve to rapid ingress. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's decent. I feel like there could be stronger units you could do that with. But I guess that's decent. I will always usually bring in the Death Company Dreadnought from reserve against a vehicle for a 7-inch charge. Yeah, the Sanguiner has been excellent. I see the Sanguiner Death Company Dread ability to fight multiple times, particularly in 6-inch consolidation strat, and the Redeemer is being psychological weapons and damage dealers. They really make your opponent doubt themselves. Same with the Lancer, it rarely kills anything outright, but your opponent will have to stay honest with their movement because of the threat. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess. I just think that I would, if I'm playing Blood Angels, I'd rather just take some cheaper tanks that will actually kill some stuff. Death Company, the jump packs are my missiles, and the scouts score secondaries. I'm tempted to add in another chaplain for more OC0 or drop the Sanguiner and Death Company Dread for another 10 Blick of jump assault intercessors the priest. Yeah, four OC0 units is going to be quite a lot in the new edition, or the new data slate, I guess. 600 points of OC0, only one chaplain. Again, when I was playing Dark Angels last week, they had snipers. So if they managed to snipe off your chaplain, bear in mind those Dark Angel snipers do 3 damage a shot. If they manage to snipe off your chaplain, suddenly you've got 600 points actually of stuff that has no OC, which could actually be kind of difficult to play. Something about las cannons just makes me annoyed. I've run Havocs consistently in CSM, both Index and Codex Man. The overall amount of damage that doesn't push through makes me livid. Yeah, I mean, I run 400 points of armor in my list, or 400 points of shooting, but I don't expect too much from it, I guess. Usually it kills 400 points across the total of the game, I would say, but yeah. A single Gladiator Lancer I think is actually quite difficult to play. If you guys are getting some value out of tonight's video as well, please drop a like on the stream. It does really help me out. I do really appreciate it. I think on Wednesday night I'm supposed to be playing Andrew with the new Sisters of Battle Codex. I think he wants to take Sisters of Battle with the new Codex to the GT in 2 weeks' time. And I guess, heads up, in 2 weeks' time there will be no Armyless show because the GT that I'm hosting is the 29th and the 29th and 30th of the month. Loris says I'm thinking of doing 2 repulsors. I probably wouldn't. I ran a repulsor quite a bit. I think the regular repulsor is better than the executioner, but I don't know if I feel like if you're running Gladius and you're putting like eradicators inside the repulsor, maybe it's okay, but beyond that I think it's actually kind of hard to know. It's kind of hard to get the most out of a repulsor for Blood Angels. No one's running repulsors in Blood Angels. I was probably the only person crazy enough to run them in Gladius, right? Okay, Daragon Amon is our third list for today. He's got a 2k Dreadnought detachment in his Iron Spear. Okay. There's always an Iron Spear list every week, so that's fine. So we've got a Librarian with the Flesh is Weak, and we've got a Tech Marine with Target Orgatory Web Aura. We've got 2 Jump Pack Assault Intercessors, Eliminators, and 2 Scouts. So I guess he's put together about 400 points of scoring units. In that, it's 2 Assault Intercessors, it's 2 squads of Scouts, it's 2 Eliminators. We got a triple Ballistus. Having compared to the Ballistus just recently against a Predator Destructor, I don't know if I feel like I would run triple Ballistus. I mean, it's cheap. It is cheap, but like 2 Predator Destructors and a single Ballistus is like 20 points cheaper, and I think that's a better combo. Like, if I had 3 Predator Destructors, I might honestly run 3 Predator Destructors and no Ballistus. I just only have 2 and don't really want to buy another Predator because I don't know how long. I don't know how long Predators are going to still be around. Like, are they going to get put into Legends or something like that? You've got the Brutalis Dreadnought. You've got the Double Death Company Dreadnought. Again, you've got no chaplains here, so I feel a little bit sad about those being OC0. You got Furioso Dreadnought. I mean, the Furioso is fine. We just don't see many people take it. It does do mortal wounds on the charge. We got Double Redemptor with the Macro Plasma, which I think is the right way to run it. The idea is pretty simple. The Librarian with Eliminators will move shoot to help with the primary. The Tech Marine can be parked next to any of the backfield ballistas or redemptors to make them harder, to make them hit harder and be safe with lone operative. The scouts and jump back squads will do primary and secondary. The ballistas are for the dedicated anti-tank at range. The Brutalis and Furiosos push the midfield. The Death Company Dreads from Strategic Reserve making their 7-inch charge and proceed to blend and mince whatever they can. Let me know what you think. I initially had the Librarian Dreadnought in there to assist with Eliminators and Scouts if they happen to get bogged down and need to relocate, but yeah, I don't think I would put Librarian Dreadnought in here. I don't think there's enough infantry that's going to get a lot of value out of it. 3 Ballistas Dreadnoughts, like, you might be better here. I was going to say, what do you have anti-horde, right? Like, can this list deal with orcs, I guess is the question. It might struggle against, like, it might struggle a lot against some sort of bully boys. Did you mention that? No. Because I played a game recently where I had to fight against Gazgal and 14 Meganobs, and Meganobs are horrific to deal with. I feel like Dreadnoughts in melee probably kill 2 or 3 Meganobs, maybe. Dreadnoughts in shooting, someone like the Redemptor maybe kills a couple. The Ballistas maybe kills 1. You might struggle a bit into orcs with this. But I mean, I guess you have a lot of toughness 10 in your list, and there's something to be said about that if the enemies can't deal with toughness 10. I am running Ball Predators right now. Just proxy it as a destructor. Wizzywing is gone right now. I mean, I could, Jim. I never thought about that. Yeah. I probably actually could build some las cannon sponsons for it, actually. Result says, since this is a meme list, why not add some Infernus Marines and flame the hordes? Yeah, I just don't know if... I guess if you took 10 Infernus Marines... Oh, excuse me, I don't think 5 do enough damage, right? Because 5 is only like 5d6 shots. Yes, they're strength 5, but most of the orcs are T5, so you're realistically only going to get like the orcs to take like a handful of saves at best, maybe like 7 or 8 saves. And then if it's the WAG, they're saving on 5 up, so realistically you kill like 4 orcs or something. Yeah, I guess... I was going to say, I guess this, well, I feel a bit like, again, I feel a little bit sad that there's no chaplain in there, but maybe you don't care. Maybe the OC Zero Dreads are just going to run in and try and mince some stuff up and not care about their OC. So 2 Redemptors, -1 damage, 2 up save, a Brutalis, a Furioso, 3 Ballistas. I mean, all those units are somewhat strong in of themselves. I guess you've got the Tech Marine in there as well. You've got the Iron Hands or the Iron Storm Detachment rule, which gives you a bit of a bonus. Yeah, I'm just not sure. I feel like Ballistas Dreadnoughts are the best thing. The Ballistas Dreadnoughts to me are a little bit more survivable, but they do a bit less damage. Like, they don't feel like they do a ton of damage, I guess. So I guess I'm just trying to decide if that's your main vehicle support. And the frag missile from the Ballistas is OC0, which is a bit of a problem, which is, well, it's a bit rubbish as well. I don't know. Someone in chat help me out. What's the suggestion? I don't play Iron Storm, I'm afraid. I don't really know. I mean, I feel Gladiator Lancers are very good in Iron Storm, right? Because that basically gives you 2 rerolls on hit, 2 rerolls on wound. So it seems like if you're trying to make this work, you possibly want a couple of Lancers in there. Like if you're seriously trying to make this work, and then 160 points on that Eliminator squad, I feel like you could probably like just have an Infiltrator squad there, and take those 65 points and push them into somewhere else. A Ball Predator. Yeah, I mean, I guess a Ball Predator would certainly help with potentially flaming some of the Horde, yeah. I'd probably take the Ball Predator actually over the Furioso Dreadnought. It's cheaper as well. It's like 25 points cheaper. So I wonder if you could like get 2 Ball Predators. You need to save 100 points. You probably could actually. You could probably lose that Librarian and the Eliminators. Lose the Furioso. Add in 2 Ball Predators. Add in a squad of Infiltrators. And then maybe you just need to do a little bit of rounding. You like I said, you could legit. If you have some Predator Destructors, they're 10 points cheaper than the Ballistic Dreadnoughts. I feel like they're better as well. I don't think Infiltrators need a Librarian attached to them. I don't run Infiltrators with a Librarian attached to them, and I've been beating everybody. I mean, the only person I haven't beaten in the last, like, 8 weeks or something is Miles with his Grey Knights, and I don't think that me having a Librarian would make any difference, because the Grey Knights... He didn't shoot my Infiltrators. He didn't kill my Infiltrators. He ended up killing them with a Redeemer or something like that. It wasn't like a deep strike. Jaeger Bomb, thanks so much for the 5 USD. Happy Father's Day. Done with the 30k Ravens. Time for the 40k Angels. Hope we find out more about the refresh soon. Hope we see Jump Chaplains too. Yeah, I suppose a Primaris Jump Chaplain would be pretty cool. I guess we're probably going to see Astaroth. Astaroth is the character that I would like to see Primaris probably the most.
Jaegerbomb2 donated $5 via Super Chat. Happy Father's Day. Done with the 30k Ravens. Time for 40k Angels. Hope we find out more about the refresh soon. Hope we see Jump Chaplains too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had the Astaroth book, right? Like this one. Don't know if you guys have read it, but in this book, spoiler, Astaroth loses all his armor at the end of the book. Like his armor's all... He gets eaten by a friggin' space eel or something like that. And when he comes out of the eel, he's basically naked. His armor's completely toast. So rather than build him that whole custom set of red armor again, I'm kind of hoping that they just Primaris size him. That would make most sense to me in the lore. I think he was badly injured there as well, so... yeah. Okay, let's jump on to the next list. This list is from Aden Farahez. So I'll read the list first and then we'll come back to his comments. So it's Captain, Terminator Armor, a Captain with a Jump Pack, Commander Dante, a Judicaire with Artisan of War, and then the Sanguinary Priest with the Jump Pack. Interestingly, I just did that video on the Captain this week and basically said that the best unit for leading Terminators for Blood Angels is actually your Librarian in Terminator Armor. He's a better choice than the Captain. He's 20 points cheaper. But I guess you hadn't seen that video when you submit this list. So we've got the squad of Heavy Intercessors. I like Heavy Intercessors. I just think if you're trying to be super competitive for the same points you get the squad of Infiltrators, you should probably take the Infiltrators. Unless you've got something else that's going to be in the backfield for the whole game that can help out the Heavy Intercessors, you should probably just take the Infiltrators. You've got 10 Jump Assault Marines. You've got 6 Blade Guard. Another Brutalis. We're seeing Brutalises pop up a lot since they dropped 160 points. You got 5 Hellblasters. You got 5 Infernus. I'm not really sure on these units, honestly. You got Librarian Dreadnought. I guess to try and teleport these two around. You've got a Redemptor Dreadnought, you've got 5 Sanguinary Guard, you've got 5 Terminators. You've taken Assault Cannon with a Terminator. I think that's the wrong choice. I think I would take the Cyclone Missile Launcher. I don't think... Statistically, you'll do like 1 dev wound. I think you're much better off having the Cyclone Missile Launcher. And then that comes back to if you've got the Sustained from the Librarian, because occasionally you'll sustain on a crack missile and then that actually makes it genuinely maybe a little bit scary if you've got a cyclone missile launcher that could maybe shoot 4 crack missiles or something like that, right? Loads of people saying Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Hello, Adam. Sorry. Nice to see you. Okay, so infiltrators we could definitely swap out for the heavy intercessors. So, list for my first battle on Thursday the 30th of May, learning against Grey Knights. You lost against Grey Knights. It's a good learning game. Dude, Grey Knights are so tough to beat. They're just teleporting everything all the turn, picking up stuff off. Grey Knights are like, honestly, legitimately one of the worst battle matchups that we can have. And if you only lost by 35 points and it's your first game, you're doing not too bad. I lost about 35 points 2 times ago when I played the Grey Knights, just because I haven't played them in a while. This week I lost by maybe like 10 points, but they are so tough to beat. Plan was to cause chaos out there, Hellblasters and heavy intercessors onto an objective. You know what? There is something to be said about teleporting heavy intercessors onto a side field objective with the Librarian turn 1. That is not bad. Dreadnought each side and Librarian to throw something forward. I'm hoping to lock the field down to limit where he can teleport. If you want to limit where you teleport, you need those infiltrators. They're so important. This went because Grey Knights can teleport within 3 inches, and they did that to me this week and stole objectives from me, and it won them the game, right? The Grey Knight wiped out Dante's squad in one go, and then my jump pack next turn. Yeah, so Dante and his squad are basically a glass cannon, dude. They got to start in reserve. You got to rapid ingress them in for 1 CP, and then you ideally need to be charging from an obscure position if the enemy have good Overwatch. Where's the YouTube button? I don't know. Where is the YouTube button today? My next game is Space Wolves taking hold, and I have 10 Death Company jump packs, Lamartis, Astrath, the Librarian, Phobos, 10 Assault Intercessors, Mephiston, 10 Primaris Infiltrators, a Land Raider Redeemed, Brawl Predator as well, and a few more units. Right, so you want to make this a little bit better. First of all, I'd probably try and switch out that Librarian for the Librarian Terminator Armor. I'd actually probably give him Artisan of War. But, I mean, Artisan of War and the Judiciar is fine. So the Judiciar plus the Blade Guard. I mean, I might be tempted here, actually, to drop Librarian and Infernus Squad. I mean, and, you know, take that cheaper Librarian, and then you can have your Land Raider Redeemer. Inside your Redeemer, you can have your Blade Guard and your Judiciar, and either a squad of Hellblasters, I was going to say, or a squad of Scouts, but you don't have any Scouts. So, interesting. Scouts are very, very good for scoring points. I'm using Outriders a lot to score points as well. 5-man jump assault intercessors again score points. So I think the thing that stands out is lack of scoring units. And it doesn't sound like you have any scouts. So you probably want to get yourself a squad of scouts and or consider a squad of outriders. I basically play my outriders like scouts. They are basically toughness 5 scouts with 12 wounds and an 18-inch move. I don't think the Librarian Dreadnought is gonna, as cool as it is to teleport those those heavy intercessors to a side field objective early in the game. I think you'd be better off losing Librarian Dreadnought, losing the Infernus Squad, possibly adding a Land Raider, and also possibly losing the heavy intercessors for infiltrators. I don't mind keeping the heavy intercessors, but I feel like you do still want infiltrators most of the time. Because I was running heavy intercessors a lot, and now that I'm practicing for tournament play, I'm running infiltrators. I think they're just a safer choice. The Librarian will help loads, I guess, as well against psychic attacks, right? Because basically you get a 4-up Feel No Pain against all psychic, which is basically almost everything the Grey Knights have. And also, at the moment, I don't like running Blade Guard without some sort of either transport to get them to the middle of the board. I guess I just don't like running them without a transport, I feel like. And they only really fit in Land Raiders and Impulsors. So you could run, Land Raiders and Repulsors. So Blade Guard with the Judicaire, I mean, you kind of want the Land Raider because you want them to be able to charge after it's moved 10 inches or 12 inches in the case of the Redeemer. Because you get really big threat range, essentially. Because I guess the Blade Guard get like a 15-inch move with the Redeemer if the Redeemer moves 12 and then they disembark 3. So I'd probably swap that. I mean, I don't hate the Librarian Dreadnought. I just don't... I think it works better for Gladius. We don't see too many people making good use of it in Sons of Sanguinius. It's a cool model. I like it a lot, but I think you're better off Rapid Ingress. Probably if I was playing this list, I would start both the Terminators and the Sanguinary Guard in reserve. In turn 2, I would Rapid Ingress one of them. In turn 3, I'd Rapid Ingress the other one. Whichever one you think is the better play at specific times, right? Obviously, the Terminators move a lot less. But the other thing that I've been doing with Outriders, which is really useful, is you can park 3 Outriders along a line, and their bases are so giant, like Outriders, they're so giant, the bases, that if you park them in a line, they basically can probably block like 10 inches. So you can park them in a line and then drop a Rapid Ingress unit behind them to basically mean that the opponent has no chance of charging them, because unless they can kill all the Outriders first. And obviously when they start killing Outriders, you can pool up to make it awkward so they still can't charge you. So yeah, Infiltrators, Land Raider, and Sanguinary Guard and Terminators in reserve. Honestly though, you don't have any Death Company, and I think that, like, as cool as Hellblasters potentially are, like 10 Strength 8 shots, remember a Death Company unit will get 20 Strength 8 Power Fists and 5 Infernal Pistols with full hits to rerolls. So for like 25 points more, the Death Company can do like 3 times the damage. Again, they could be Rapid Ingressed or starting in reserve. So if you're going to be playing Sons of Sanguinius, one of the things that I was trying to do was try to make sure that like a good amount of your list is benefiting from your +1 strength, +2 strength, +1 attack. And Hellblasters seem like an okay unit, but again, I feel like there may be more of a Gladius choice. Take them if you have them, but Death Company remain... Yeah, Reziel said it. Death Company remain the single best unit. They do the most damage. They have the strength 10 fists. I actually wonder, though, Reziel, if you have that Librarian leading those Terminators and you oath the target, I actually think the Terminators will do more damage now, right? Like, so Terminators led by a Librarian in Terminator armor will actually outdamage the Death Company. Because if you oath the target, then the Terminators will have the same number of Power Fist attacks as the Death Company, but theirs will hit on 2s with rerolls, whereas the Death Company would hit on 3s with rerolls. They'll also get sustained 1, and you can still give them lethals, and you can still give them +1 to wound. So I think that as much as we say the Death Company are the best unit because they're the fastest, in terms of raw damage output, it's probably 5 Terminators with that Librarian and Terminator armor. But I guess the Infernal Pistols from the Death Company still probably push them ahead, right? Okay, you're more than welcome, Adam. Hopefully I've given you something to think about. Thanks so much for submitting the list. I don't think we've met before, Adam, or hadn't seen one of your lists before, so thanks for sending it in. Okay, let's look at this next list, which is also Sons of Sanguinius. This is from Crozier. Okay, cool. Another long-term channel member. We've got Captain with a Jump Pack with Artisan of War, Chaplain with a Jump Pack, Dante Lamartez, a Lieutenant with a Combat Weapon, Sanguinary Priest with a Jump Pack, and a Sanguiner. Oh my goodness, Crozier has gone crazy on characters. This is like 250, 490 plus 180. What's that? 670. 740 points in character. Okay, this is a little bit insane. This is too much points in characters. I was going to say, what does my list have in characters? Where's my phone? Ah, it's in my pocket. Do you ever do that? You're like, where's my phone? My list has not 400 some points in characters. I've got 350 points in characters. Dante, a captain, and 2 chaplains and jump packs. 350 seems like a good number. 400 seems okay. 500 is definitely pushing too high. 740 points is nuts. I think you probably will lose a lot of games here because by spending 740 points on characters, you have not enough points to spend in killing units, and you have not enough points to spend in scoring units. Let's see what he's got. He's got 2 squads of jump assault intercessors, actually 3. He's got a 10-man death company, a 5-man death company. He's got 5 infiltrators. He's got 2 squads of outriders. He's got 2 squads of scouts, and he's got 10 vanguard veterans. Okay, so the scouts are scoring units, the outriders are scoring units. So you've got 15 death company and 10 vanguard veterans overall. Aim Ice, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. 25 jump marines probably is not going to be enough. I guess it's 40 if you include the assault intercessors, but they are only hitting with chainswords. And only 15 of your marines can do 2 damage per swing. Okay. You know, it actually feels like there's quite a lot of units here. I feel like, I guess he's picked cheap stuff. You got the infiltrators for the backfield. You get the 2 squads of death company. I'd put Lamarta as a squad in reserve. You've got 3 squads of assault intercessors with jump packs. Actually, I'm going to have to read what he said because I'm not actually sure where all these characters go. So you've got a captain with the jump assault intercessors with 5, Lamartes with 10 death company, a chaplain with 5 death company, Dante and the sanguinary priest join the 10 vanguard veterans. Okay, so he's got 2 10-man squads. Cool. Then all the other little squads are scoring units. So basically, like, it's 2 killing units, and then most of the stuff is scoring. The idea is a flex and flexible punch all infantry list that will make a lot of enemy answer monsters useless. Yeah, until you fight against what I fought against this week, which was 3 Land Raider Redeemers. And then when you have only infantry, that's going to be pretty difficult to deal with. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I found 3 Land Raider Redeemers crazy difficult, but this has gone even one step further. At the same time, 5 Jump Assault Intercessors with the Red Rampage and Oath already have a decent chance of cracking an average tank. Do 5 in Jump Assault with Red Rampage actually have a decent chance of cracking a tank? It's 20 attacks, hitting 88% of the time. So you get 18 hits. Your strength 6 with +1 to wounds. You only wound on 4s. That's a bit of a reach. I think 5 Jump Assault Intercessors with Red Rampage and Oath maybe do like 7, 8. Maybe you get those couple of mortal wounds. Maybe best case like 8 to 10 damage. Not to mention the devastation that 10 Death Company do. 10 Death Company and the Dante Blob do a ton of devastation. I can agree with that. I use the Dante Blob in my game. In my list, I've used the Lamarta's Blob a lot before. The last 2 games I started with Dante and Lamarta's squad, both in Deep Strike. Yes, that's what I would do, and I would be rapid ingressing them. The Sanguiner, also in Deep Strike. In turn 2 and 3, I brought them down in rapid ingress respectively. Yeah, that's the best way to play that. That's actually very good. Against armies that I expect to be able to hide on the board, I would probably only Deep Strike one of them. I used to do that. Now I think it's safer to have them in rapid ingress. Usually the smaller squads that start on the board are already enough reasonable threats to be for most opponents' units. While the opponent is busy with the squads on the board, you set the stage for the real army to arrive. Yes, I agree with that, but I just think that 2 10-man squads arriving is cool. but there's very little else to back that up, bar maybe like well-placed jump assault intercessors. And I've played the jump assault intercessors and Outriders enough times to see those things bounce off enemy units. Also, here's a question. How the hell is this list coping with Death Guard when they have 2 units with Foul Blight spawns attached, or 2 units with the Biologist Putrefiers? Because that's going to be crazy difficult to deal with. I know it's too many characters, and you want like the scout loadouts. I mean, the scout loadouts is kind of irrelevant based on the number of characters. And obviously I like the knives on the scouts. Personally, I prefer the special weapons on the scouts over combat knives. Fair enough. This loose list has been very good at snatching objectives or scoring actions. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I just don't know if I feel 740 points is the right number of points in characters. I feel like you're, even if it was like 540, like pushing it down somewhat. Like, here's a question, right? When you've got so few models, would you rather a captain with Artisan of War, or would you rather 5 more jump assault intercessors, or another, 5 heavy intercessors that can go stand on an objective and be durable? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel quite as bad as I thought it was going to feel when I got through the 740 points of characters, but I do think that, like, this is going to have some crazy weaknesses. Death Guard are probably going to be a problem. That triple Redeemer list that I played against this week is going to be a big problem. I don't like building lists to take to tournaments where I can see problems up front, and I guess this, to me, this has a problem. Because, like, for example, I did a video a little while ago that said, like, if the Blade Guard are attached to a Judicaar, they'll kill, like, 11 Plague Marines or something with their fight first. So arguably you would have to charge a whole unit into each of those, each fight first unit the enemy has to just lose them and potentially try 2 CP fight on death. And the one thing that I think about Sons of Sanguinius is, like, it's so hard to have 2 CP for fight on death. Like, the amount of games recently, and I have won a lot of games recently, right, with my list, but the amount of games recently where I'm like, I wish I had 2 CP for fight on death. It's so hard to have 2 CP. Chase says, I run 2 squads of intercessors with plasma and they're great for supporting and advancing with assault keyword. Yeah, I liked when plasma interceptors were 110 points. I thought they were very, very good, combined with Oath of the Moment. But they never... We saw them a lot in Gladius. I ran them in Gladius, but again, we didn't see too many people bring them over to Sons of Sanguinius. I still think they're good in Sons of Sanguinius. Blood Angels really need a CP farming option that's worth a crap. Yeah, it would be nice to have something, wouldn't it, Rez? Because it seems like everybody else has something. I'm actually kind of surprised Commander Dante doesn't... Because he used to at least give 1 CP. Now he doesn't do any of that. I do like his Battle Shock thing, but... yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Alright, 46 people watching. We got 15 likes on tonight's stream, so if you guys get 2 seconds, please like the stream. We are on to Army List 6 for tonight. Submitted by OldMate86. He's got 2 Death Company Dreadnoughts. He's got 10 Death Company with jump packs led by a Chaplain. He's got 2 Ball Predators. He's got a Land Raider Crusader. I'm not really sold on the Crusader at the moment. I think it's the weakest option. 2 Infiltrator squads, both with Phobos Librarians. I don't think you need Phobos Librarians with Infiltrators. I get that it can be useful against indirect fire. They already have a 6-up Feel No Pain. They already have the Smokescreen keyword if you're desperate to keep them alive. I think Phobos Librarians don't really do much damage. Yes, giving them the ability to not be shot within 12 can sometimes save you, but I wouldn't do it. I don't do it for 1, and I definitely wouldn't do it for 2. 10 Assault Intercessors with a Librarian, that's an interesting choice. I'm actually not sure what that Librarian brings. A regular Librarian? I think it gives them a 4-up invuln, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, they just got a 4-up Invan and a 4-up Feel No Pain against Psychic. Okay. Don't see that very often, but okay. 5 Intercessors with an Apothecary? Oh my goodness, we don't see an Apothecary. I don't even know what the Apothecary does. He brings a guy back alive? Yeah, he brings it back up. So you've got a squad of Intercessors attached to Apothecary. Interesting. I don't know if I feel like I would do that either. I guess potentially it means you could sticky a little bit more, but I'm not sure I like that all that much. The idea here is the Infiltrator squad and the Phobos Librarian take flanking objectives during deployments because of the Infiltrator ability. So he's going to use their lone ops to just steal 2 objectives centerboard or in no man's land. This forces my opponents to move in hard if they want to score. The Death Company Dreadnoughts come from reserve to help protect the flanks. The Battles and the Land Raiders shoot up the middle and do their thing. I mean, anything else than a Crusader, a regular Land Raider, the Crusader's weapon ornaments is just so rubbish. It's like bolters, man. Bolters are just rubbish now. You get the Twin Assault Cannon, which is average at best, and then you get 24 no AP bolter shots rapid fire if you're within 12. 12 shots if you're not within 12. I mean, 12 twin link bolter shots is super underwhelming, honestly. It's not worth 230 points, that's for sure. Yeah, I get you've got some other weapons on it, but like for 10 more points getting 4 las cannons, or for like 30 more points getting the Redeemer Flamers, they're just way better. I would lose one of those Phobos Librarians and get that Land Raider upgraded for sure. The Death Company and Jump Packs take whatever else, so I would probably start that Death Company and Jump Packs in reserve. I would make sure you've got 10 Infernal Pistols and 10 Power Fists on that squad, and I would Rapid Ingress them. The Assault Intercessors go in the Land Raider, and they've got the 4-up in 1 thanks to the Librarian. I mean, I guess that's okay. We don't see it, though, so it can't be all that meta. 10 Death Company and the 2 Dreadnoughts have to do a lot of heavy lifting in this list. Because the Assault Intercessors have bolters. These guys have chain swords for the most part. These guys have bolters. Guess you've got the 2 flamers. Or the 2 big flamers. So if you come up against an army that's got a lot of high toughness stuff, you're going to be so reliant on those 4 Death Company units. Again, you've only got 1 chaplain, so I guess 2 of the Death Company units are going to struggle with getting any OC. Yeah, this is a tough list. I don't think I would run it. I don't think it's got enough of a it doesn't have enough of a balance to be able to deal with tough targets as well. Like, yeah, I mean, if you're playing something like Orcs and there's lots of hordes, I mean, this list would probably do pretty well against hordes, right? Lots of chainsword attacks, lots of flamer attacks, lots of bolter attacks. But it doesn't do too well. If you play against Imperial Knights or Chaos Knights, then you're gonna lose the game just because you've only got like 3 units in your entire army that can really deal with Knights. And that's like they're the best are going to kill like 1 knight a turn and then they're going to get countered on so hard. I think if you're leading Assault Intercessors, the Captain seems like a good choice, but I mean, I guess the Librarian, the 4-up isn't totally rubbish. Yeah, if you're going to run 10 Death Company, you should probably run them with Lamartas. You're right, Reziel, especially if that's your one big Death Ball unit, yeah. Or at least Astaroth. I think Astaroth is genuinely better than a regular chaplain like that as well, right? How many more points is Astaroth than a regular chaplain? It's like 10. Is that right? Yeah, he's only 10 more. So if you had the 10 points, I would take Astaroth for sure. You know, that has made me really tempted with my list, actually, to drop my Ballistus Dreadnought then. Because dropping a Ballistus Dreadnought for the third Destructor would give me 10 points. So I could drop one of the Chaplains to have Astaroth and get Dev Wounds and potential Fight on Death for free. The Fight on Death for free might be big, actually. Yes, it's only 50% of the time, but you could spike it. Death Company with Fight on Death for free that's spikeable could be nice, I suppose. Not many people run Astaroth, right? He only gets 4 attacks, though. It's really rubbish. I think he had like 8 attacks last edition or something. And he could have 4 damage as well. Now he just has 2. So this isn't my favourite list by a long shot. I would... Hold on, is this even 2,000 points? Really? I guess the Infiltrators and the Librarians are like 175 times 2. The 2 Death Company Dreads 145 plus 145. The 2 Ball Predators 125 plus 125. The Crusader is 230. The 10 Death Company are like 280 plus the Chaplain. 10 Assault Intercessors is 160. 5 Intercessors is 80. And Apothecary and Librarian, I don't know how many points they are off the top of my head. What am I missing? Am I missing a unit? It does feel like it's missing a unit. But yeah, anyway, I think it needs... It like, you could even drop the Crusader, have 5 Assault Intercessors in a Librarian, in an Impulsor. You've saved yourself about 150 points. You could have another 5-man Death Company. You could have a Ballistus Dreadnought. You could have a Brutalis Dreadnought. Yeah, the choices in themselves are okay, but I just don't think there's enough synergy. There's not enough that's going to deal with high toughness enemies. And there's a lot of choices here that are not meta, right? 5 Intercessors plus an Apothecary, 10 Assault Intercessors plus a Librarian, the Crusader. No one runs 2 5-man Intercessors with 2 full boss Libbies. Maybe you can do that for 1, but I wouldn't do it twice. So you potentially have like 500-600 points. And also, he didn't specifically say if he was Sons of Sanguinius Detachment, but the thing about Sons of Sanguinius Detachment that I want to say is if you're trying to run Sons of Sanguinius Detachment, try and have like 1,200 points minimum that get a ton out of that detachment, right? Like, you want units that will benefit from the +2 strength, +1 attacks. Like, if your units don't benefit from that, then you need to be thinking about, like, is this the best attachment for me? Because when I changed my list to focus more on the melee power of the Sons of Sanguinius Detachment, that's when I went from, like, winning every now and then to winning, like, a lot of the time. And I think I can't remember what my old list was. I guess my old list was like double Land Raider, double Vindicator or something like that. So I had like 1,000 points of shooting, give or take. And I changed that out and went hard on melee. And yeah, my list might actually be too much infantry at the moment for my liking, but it works because everything that is infantry gets a lot of benefit from the +2 strength, +1 attacks from Blood Angels. So, I'm going to go and try and catch the rest of the England game. Hopefully it's a good game. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Leave a like on the stream. I'll be live on Wednesday night. Should have a tactics video out on Friday. Might be a little bit sporadic this week on replies though, because I'm out of town for like 2 days. So have a great evening, guys. Add in an impulsor, that's the current meta, says Art. Yeah, that is very much the current meta. The current meta is basically 2 impulsors, 2 captains, 2 5-man assault intercessors. Run those 2 impulsors forward, hope that they survive because of their shield domes, and then if they do, pile out and make some charges and use the finest hour ability from the captain to get like 9 devastating attacks with strength 10 power fists. That's the meta at the moment. And I think it's pretty good. It's a pretty good meta. So, okay, I will see you guys Wednesday night, hopefully. Gaming and Sisters. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good evening.